think that will ultimately lead to a great contribution on food security. Ladies and gentlemen, don't be alarmed. I will not try to summarize the last 3 days of discussions and debates. I think this would keep us away from lunch for way too long. But I do trust that you will agree with me that this has been a very exciting and enriching conference, offering a very broad and holistic take on Asian food security. This nonetheless leaves me with a very important task, which is to thank in detail all the people who have actually made this conference possible. And I would like to start with Paul. I've had the pleasure of working with Paul over the last 6 months. He's really been the mastermind behind this event. He's been extremely committed to this conference, and it's been a true pleasure to work with him on this event. Equally, of course, I would like to thank our main partner, Circa, and Dr. Hill in particular. I only had the pleasure of meeting him 2 days ago, but I do understand that he played a critical role in organizing this event. Likewise, let me thank our main sponsor, the National Security Coordination Secretariat. Things like this, of course, are not possible without financial support. So our greatest thanks to you, as well as all the other sponsors involved in making this conference possible: the Asian Development Bank, CropLife Asia, the International Development Research Center, the IDRC, Monsanto, and finally, of course, the Singapore Tourism Board. And this made it possible for you to stay in this particular location. All of our speakers, especially those who came from very, very far afield. I had the pleasure of meeting an academic from Brazil over the last 3 days, and I think that's pretty much as far as it gets when you're based in Singapore. So thank you to you and everybody else for fantastic presentations, and of course for addressing all the questions coming from the floor. The delegates, I am so excited to see so many of you still around after 3 days of conferences. I mean, Paul and I were a little bit nervous that we would have a major drop in participation by the 3rd day, but obviously this has not been the case, and you've been a particularly enthusiastic and active crowd. I think yesterday we had a 2-hour Q&A session, and that must be breaking a record somewhere. 2-hour Q&A session. Eureka, the event organizer, Nicole and all her team, who really worked really hard over the last 3 days. Finally, but certainly not last but certainly not least, I would like to thank my own team, and I would like to spend some time doing so, because believe me, they have been working extremely hard on this event, as far as I can tell, probably from January onwards. So special thanks once again to Paul, Marga, Cheryl, Josephine, Swanee, Jackson, Sophie, many others who are at this point outside. Those conferences are not possible without your work, and unfortunately they don't often get recognized for it. So please join me in thanking them. Thanks to them that nothing goes wrong and that we can actually focus on the content rather than anything else. That is it for me. I would like to